Hey, welcome back to the Club Junkie podcast. Hopefully having a great week. It is Thursday, and it's exciting. I've got a big week coming up next week. So, before we get into today's episode, because we're going to talk a lot, I just want to let you know this episode is brought to you by Titleist and the Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls. How does the best get better? Well, we're going to find out, because now there's a new Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. The original launch of the Pro V1 was in 2000, so this year marks the 25th anniversary of the Pro V1. Titleist R&D asked players what they wanted in the new Pro V1 and Pro V1X, and they said more spin on scoring shots into the green. R&D delivered as both models give players increased spin. They also provide more speed off the tee and more control with the irons. Many on tour are already teeing up the new Pro V1 and Pro V1X, including Ludwig Aberg, Wyndham Clark, and Will Zalatoris. The new Pro V1 is a great fit for most players and a great place to start your golf ball fitting process. Compared to Pro V1, the new Pro V1X is a higher flight and firmer feel, and there's also the Pro V1X left dash if you're looking for a flight similar to Pro V1X, but with much lower full swing spin and a firmer feel. Visit Titleist.com for everything there is to know about the new Pro V1, Pro V1X, and Pro V1X left dash. So, welcome back in the show. This is kind of one of my favorite shows every year that I do, and I know it's not for everybody because it's a whole lot of what's in the bag talk, because that's what we're doing today. We're talking about what's in the bag. I've got my guys trip coming up next week. So next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be playing golf with 15 of my very good friends, 2 of my brothers, all that, and it is an absolute blast. We do it every year, and we call it the Sragwa, and it is an event we all look forward to every single year. It's a whole lot of fun, and it's just been an exciting week. I'm putting what's in the bags together, getting ready, and I'm a little nuts when it comes to clubs that go down for trips like these. I'm a little wild. So it's funny. I was talking to Jake Morrow from Made from the Range, and he was talking. He's playing in Battle at the Beach in one of these tournaments. Brian Golf puts it on. Brian LaRoche. He puts it on, and Jay from Made for the Range has played in it. I think this is like his second or third year, something like that. He's played in it. And he was talking about how he's got to get like his what's in the bag dialed in. He's going to take a few weeks, whatever, to dial in what he's playing and all that. And he's picked the clubs. Now he just has to practice with them and get them dialed in. He's not making any changes. And I was like, I wouldn't fit in there because I'm rolling down there with 2 full bags, extra driver shafts, whatever. And he was like, yeah, that would be, he's like, there people be giving you some crap, which I'm okay with. That is what I love about this game. As you guys know, I will happily trade out a few strokes for a brand new set of clubs every week, and I'm okay with that. So, so this week we're going to talk about what's in the bag. I'm going to go through both bags, what's in both of them, maybe some other stuff coming down with me, and So anyway, we do this trip every year, beginning of August. It is kind of the thing that we all set our calendars for. We all know it's happening, and we've got a group of 16 guys. So we go down, we play a little Ryder Cup style. We have 2 teams, and you play a lot of 2-man games, best ball, modified alternate shot, shamble, scramble. We kind of, run through a few different formats. Every 9 holes is a different format. So you pair up with somebody on your team, you play somebody else, and for most of it, we don't use handicaps. We just kind of match up teams. We've all been playing together a long time. We kind of know who's who, and we kind of pair up teams based on, good players, bad players, whoever's there, and we try to make them as even as possible. And most of the time, it's not too bad. We don't get too many crazy blowouts. Everything usually stays a little bit closer than you'd expect, even with when you look at groups that you go, ooh, that twosome's definitely better than this one. It's typically not a massive win. And there's been times when even that lower group, has come out on top. So it all depends, a little bit on the format, the course, how people are playing, all that. And we did our draft about a month ago. It was beginning of June. We did our draft. So I wasn't there because I had actually literally just flown home from. I think I was out, because it was June. I was out in California. I was checking out the new Titleist irons. I was checking out the new Callaway irons. I was out there for those kind of launches. I literally flew back that Thursday, and the thing was on Thursday night. I flew back Thursday. I had my golf league, all that. So I did not attend the draft, but a lot of guys did. And the draft was, we have our 2 captains, and our captains go, and they pick their teams. So it's pretty fun. And I was I'm on one team. I was the kind of first pick on that team. There's definitely a guy who is better than me in this group. So he was of course the number one pick, and then my captain had the second pick. I was there. So we have 8 teams, or 8 guys, and I think this is a pretty, I think each team, when you ask them, is going to say their team's maybe a little bit stronger here, a little bit stronger there, whatever. I mean, everybody's kind of confident in their team. So on paper, I think it's actually really close. Again, we have a little bit of a wild card this year. This is the first. This is only the second time in 10 years that somebody wasn't able to make it. So one of the guys in the group, his son has something going on that he can't miss, and as a bunch of us being fathers in the group, we totally understand. So we have a guy moving in this year to take his place, and he doesn't keep an official handicap. So the talks are, he's an 8 or 9 handicap, and then somebody said, no, he's not even close to that. He's definitely higher. So he's a little bit of a wild card. He's on our team, so I feel like if he is, closer to that 8-9 area, we could. I think we have much better. I think we have the advantage. If he's a little bit higher than that, I think things get a little more equal. If not, slightly shift the other way. But he's going to be a little bit of the wild card there because we don't know him as well. But everybody else is back. It's only 2 times that we've ever had people miss. One of the guys, his first child was due on that weekend, and rightfully so. We gave him a lot of crap, but he didn't show up, which was smart. Probably made his wife far happier. And then this one. So for the most part, we pretty much get all 16 guys together every year, which is pretty awesome. And we have a whole lot of fun. And, we go out there, we play a ton of golf. We go down, a bunch of us play on Thursday, which is the warm-up 18. That's optional if you want to come play. But we have between 10 and 12 guys play every week or every year in that Thursday round. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday are actual rounds, and we play 36, 36, 18 before we go home. So we try to pile in the golf those 3 days that we have, and we keep score. We got a big scoreboard. I was a captain in 2023, and my team was victorious, thankfully. I know I talked about it on a previous show, but if you never heard it, my team was victorious. We had the actually largest margin of victory ever. We absolutely smoked them. I don't think we lost any of the actual rounds. So there's 5 total rounds, and there's 2 games in each round, except for Sunday. Sunday's just like a singles match play. But we won every single thing. We didn't lose any of those days, and we kind of blew out the other team. And then the funny thing is, the next year, or was it last year? Oh, so maybe I was 2020. Yeah, because it's 25. So 23 and then 24. We actually had the closest match ever, and I can't remember. It's out of 400 and some points because each match is worth 20 points or 22 points because there's bonus. So it's like 400 and some points, and it came down. I was on the losing end, but our team lost by 6 points. So I think we were up the first day. We went down the second day, but it was like by a few points. It was only like 7 points, something like that. And on the final day, we couldn't get it done. We lost by 6, which was the closest one that we've ever had. But it's always a lot of fun. There's a good blend of competition. Everybody wants to win, but also, you're still having fun. You're not going to not give somebody a yardage over on the par 3 if you're, lasering the flag or something like that. You're not going to not help somebody look for their ball or whatever. Like, it's still cordial, and you're probably going to have a few beverages out there and some guys have a few more beverages than others, but everybody gets done with a round, and that's what's solid. Nobody comes rolling in with no shirts and the cart's destroyed and all that. Everybody makes it through, and the older we get, it seems like the beverages have gone down in terms of quantity. So I am the oldest guy in the group, which is interesting. I'm the oldest. One of my really good friends is there. He's 10 days younger than me, so we're the 2 old guys of the group, and then most everybody is a little bit younger. They're a few years younger than us, but it's a really good time. We have a blast. It's named the Sraggwa, SRAGGW. And what it is it actually stands for the Scott Roman Annual Golf Guys Weekend. And Scott was a guy who, I have 2 younger brothers. My middle brother, it was a very good friend of his. While they were in high school, unfortunately got ill, and he unfortunately passed away in between their, I believe it was in between their junior and senior year. He was a good friend of theirs, and half the guys in there were kind of in that grade and really good friends with him. And I knew him through my brother. He hung out at our house a lot and all that. so I knew him. He was a really funny guy and everything. And yeah, it was just unfortunate that this happened to him. So it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of in his memory, and everybody loves the fact that we kind of come together to celebrate. And there's also a little charitable portion in his name that is part of our thing as well. So what we pay to play, there's a little portion of it that goes to a little charitable thing as well. So it's all good. We all love doing it, and it's a really, really good group of guys. There's nobody in there that you dread playing with. There's nobody there that's taking it way too serious or whatever. We did have one of those guys for a year or so, and we just never had them back. So it was right when I started. So it's been a few years since we've had anything like that. But a good group of dudes, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So this year we are doing French Lick, Indiana. We usually go to the northern part of Michigan, and we go to one of the resorts up there, whether it's a Garland or the Loon or whatever. We would jump around on the northern part of the state, because you're not from Michigan. The northern part of the state has just really, really amazing golf, and we jump around there. But this year we are heading down for the 10th year. We're going out of French Lick. It's going to be a kind of a cool thing. Go a little bigger, go a little nicer this year. And I think a lot of these guys who there's a good amount of guys who've never played a resort like this. And I've never played French Lick. I've been fortunate enough in this job that I get to play a lot of really, really great golf courses and been to a lot of really nice resorts and things like that. So the experience is really special, and I think a lot of these guys, a good portion of them who have never played something like this are really going to walk away really impressed and frustrated, because the golf is going to be pretty tough as well. So French Lick, Indiana, and we're going to put a lot of golf in, so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So we've got, for me, it's all about what's in the bag, and this has been kind of in the works for a while. As much as I'm switching stuff, and you may see that I do my kind of like league what's in the bags on YouTube, and I'm changing stuff every week, and my reasonings why and whatever. This is it kind of in the background that I don't talk about as much, of dialing in what I'm actually going to play and what's going to play. So a lot of my weekend rounds, a lot of this stuff is kind of rotated in to see what is going to make it and what's not, and or what's going to make first place or first bag or second bag or whatever. So I'm always kind of working on the weekends and stuff like that with this. And then during the week is, my what's in the bag, a lot of testing and whatever, so I can, talk about different clubs and all that. But this one here, like I said, I bring 2 full bags. Sometimes I bring 3 drivers or 3 putters or whatever. I bring a decent amount of stuff. The past couple of years, I have not dug too far into the backup bag. The first few years, there was most of the time I would swap out the whole thing, just pull everything out. Last year when we lost, I did pull irons out, because I brought a much more forgiving set, and I threw those in the bag, and it kind of backfired on me. But I've pulled out full bags. I had one year where I swapped out drivers, and I hit driver even worse. So I wanted to go back to my other driver, completely forgot, got to the first tee, and I was like, well, I guess I'm playing this other driver. And I didn't drive it well, but I've done the full bag swap a handful of times. But the past couple of years, for the most part, I've kept it pretty much there. Last year, I made the putter switch really early. I think on Friday I putted terribly, so Saturday and Sunday. I basically I can't remember what putter I had first. Oh, my Bettinardi, my BB8W, and I had that in the bag, putted horribly, and then on Saturday I threw the Lab Mez 1 in there, and I putted really, really well Saturday and Sunday. So that was a good change. But most of the time lately, it's stuff like that, a little bit, and then I did switch out irons. I think it was that year. I think it was last year. I switched out irons, and it wasn't for the better. I didn't hit the irons, but I can't remember. I think I had P770s in the bag, because I'd just gotten them, and I hit them really well. And then I didn't play well, so I thought on Sunday I had the PXG Gen 7s there, and I was like, let's throw something more forgiving in. And it just didn't work. I didn't hit them well, so I lost that match by a few points. My guy / arch nemesis Eddie kind of took me down on that one. But we're teammates this year. Eddie and I are teammates. So this is the first time we've ever been teammates, which is pretty cool. We've usually always played against each other, because this Sunday's match we're actually going to do percentage of handicaps. So whoever you play, we'll be able to mix it up, and now you won't just be kind of stuck with playing one of the 3 or 4 guys that you always get stuck playing with every year. You can play kind of everybody, and we're going to do percentage of handicaps on the Sunday single matches. So that'll be pretty cool. It'll be exciting to play with somebody that you haven't played with before. So Anyway, so we'll jump into what's in the bag, and this is my kind of like what's in the bag. This probably won't change a whole lot between now and the end of the year. If I was to get invited to go play somewhere where I could, had to kind of play somewhat serious and, could only bring 14 clubs and all that jazz, then yes, I would, it probably won't stray far from this. Few pieces here and there as stuff comes out, but for the most part, this is probably what I'm going to end the year as my gamer bag minus one or two things. So this is the starting bag. The starting bag, the one that is going down, it's going to be started off. I'm going to play it on Thursday, and then, and no matter what I do on Thursday, I'm going to play it on Friday as well. So we'll roll into Friday with this group, and then we'll see if we need to make any changes. So start at the top. We'll start driver, and driver is, I had a lot of drivers this year that I wanted to be the one, and unfortunately, we're not going to make it there. We're going with the old. Oh boy, I'm dropping stuff. We're going with an old guy. We're not. It's really not that old. It's old compared to everything else. But we are going. My title is GT2. So GT2 is in the bag. It has just been the driver that I have hit the best. I brought this to the member guest I played in, and while I didn't drive the ball great, I drove it better than anything else. I had two drivers there that I played. This one I hit a lot better. And it's 11 degree head, and it's just a good blend of it's easy to hit, it launches high, and it's pretty darn forgiving. When you don't hit it center, the ball speed's still there, and it stays, it goes pretty straight. And you got to put a pretty bad swing to get a ball to go OB with this thing. So it's been a really good driver. I like the look of it. It's a little more rounded, a little more bubbly, which I'm okay with in the driver. I don't mind that. But it's been a really good one. It sounds good, feels good, and it performs really well. So we're going to go, GT2. When I put a good swing on it, I'm not as long as I used to be, but I can still poke it out there in okay ways. And, from the tees we'll probably play, I'm going to have no problem, having mid to short irons into greens, par fives, haven't looked at the cards, studied them extensively. But I should at least probably have a shot at some of them of taking a shot in two, and if not, laying up to a pretty good yardage or something like that. But this has been the most consistent driver all year for me, and I've just felt comfortable with it. And it's funny because I've been messing with. I really wanted like G440 Max to work, and I really wanted QI35 to work, and some of these drivers are the Cobra Max K, and I just have struggled with them. I think something with those bigger heads, as it rotates through the swing, I don't know, it just feels different. This head and some of like the smaller, more kind of like tour inspire heads seem to be a little bit easier to swing for me. And I'm able to take them away a little better and square them up at impact without, just gutting over the top and smothering it left. So this GT2 has been solid. It's been really good this year. Of course, I've got the All Fit tip in here. Now this is 11 degree head, which I got fit into when these first came out. And the swing has changed a little bit since then. I'm not so over the top and smothery, so toey. I've gotten to be a little bit more neutral with that, but this is the All Fit tip, and we're going a little bit lower. We're going one notch lower. This is minus 0.75, so this is playing like 10.25. I mean, I don't know digitally what this loft is on this thing, but it's going to be right around that, like a 10 to 10.5. It's going to be right around that range there. So going a little bit lower on this, which I like to because it kind of opens the face a little bit, and I like the look of an open face. As a guy who typically draws the ball, I like looking at kind of a slightly more open face on a driver. So it looks even better to my eye with that. And then the shaft-wise is a pretty interesting one. It is the Diamana, the Mitsubishi Diamana WB. So this is the WB, and it's a 63X. Now it's interesting because, whoops, I just deleted something here out of my what do you call it? My screen. But it's 63X, which yes, I do not really swing it fast enough for a 63X. But I do draw the ball a heavy amount, and every time I go to a fitting, I typically get fit into a lightweight, higher launching X. And I know you're going to say, like, well, the WB is not high launching. And on paper, it's not. But for me, it definitely launches a little bit higher. I launched WB and BB about the same height. BB's slight higher, but I mean, not much. But I love the smooth feel of this. It's a little bit softer. It's not as hard to load as like a Ventus Black or something like that. Even the Tensei 1K White. This is like a little bit softer feel to it. And I think that little bit softer handle really allows me to load it, but it's still really stable through the whole midsection. But I actually launch it kind of mid to like, mid-launch. It really is, but it's still really low spin. So I think it pairs up with the GT2 head well, which is, kind of a higher launching kind of like, mid-low spin shaft or a head, paired up with a really, low spin, but, mid-launching shaft for me on this one. So the combo's been really good, and it just feels good. Like when I swing it, it feels decent. It doesn't feel too boardy, too stiff. It doesn't go as hard left as some other things do. I was kind of going between this and the BB. The BB, I think, produces a little bit more ball speed, but it does. I feel like I draw just a little bit more than this. So this has been the one I've been rocking for. I kind of swapped out between this and I did put a Hazardous T1100 in here. I've got a 6.0 version of that. But honestly, it was because I had a Z grip cord on here, and it was like tearing up my hands. So I've got the new Super Stroke Revel, or Revel, however you want to pronounce it. I've got one of those on here, and it definitely feels a lot better. It's a little softer on the hands, a little easier, and when you're playing 36 holes a day, this will definitely, not shred your hands as much as that Z cord. So once I put this on here, hit it really, really well, and this has been a solid driver. So driver's still been the struggle for me all year. Getting off the tee has not been my best thing, but this is going to give me the best chance, the best opportunity to get it out in the fairway and keep it in play. So that will be driver. 3-wood is probably the club that's most up in the air right now. I would say this one, I kind of went to the range a few days ago just to kind of hit a bunch of this stuff, and there was a couple things that I was kind of debating, like driver. There was I brought like 2 drivers, 3 drivers to kind of mess around with, and just verify that the GT2 was kind of my guy. And I did, and then 3-wood was one of those ones that I was kind of, and iron, same thing. I was kind of, deciding which irons, because I had 3 sets that I was hitting really well. So I wanted to just narrow it down. I had an idea of what I thought the 1 and 2 were, but I had a third one. I just wanted to make sure. So I was at the range, and 3-woods, I'm bringing both, and honestly, I feel like either one can make the bag. It just depends. One of them, the one that we're going to start with is kind of a total Frankenstein build, but it's worked out. It's worked out really well. So I'm gonna roll with it, at least for now. I think this would be the one that if I play on Thursday, and if I do hit it a little bit on that kind of warm up 18, it could go, and I could put the other club in there. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. So what we're going to go with for 3-wood is the Ping G440 LST 3-wood. And this thing has been a really good head. Now it's a 15-degree head. I've got the hosel turned up 1. So it is a +1. I didn't actually set it to flat. I just went straight 1 up. I don't feel like this thing fades a whole lot. Or doesn't draw a whole lot. It's pretty neutral. And I do have to say, this is the titanium one. It's kind of crazy expensive. And I won't lie, it actually sounds like crap compared to the G440. I don't like the sound. It's a very tongy type sound when you hit it. But the ball speed's really good, and it launches up in the air really, really well. And it's a bigger head. Very stable, goes very straight. I can hit it off the deck because it's got a little bit shallower face, but it's not too bad where I can't hit it off the tee. So this has been the 3-wood, and it's funny because when I first got this, it just had the stock tour shaft in it and all that, and I couldn't hit it to save my life. So I kept hitting it and the Max and both of them. They just had like Tour 2.0 chromes in them, and there was like 80 or 75 stiffs, nothing crazy. Couldn't hit them. I mean, I literally couldn't hit them. It was just like everything was heel, everything was low heel. It was just horrible. So I kind of shelved it a little bit, and I wanted it to work. So I sat there and I said, well, maybe the swing weight's a little heavy. So I threw it on my scale, and it wasn't necessarily like crazy heavy. It was like D5. So it was a little heavier than usually I'm like a D2-ish guy. So a little bit heavier. Not insane, but I mean, that was fairly heavy. So I was like, all right, well, let's build it up shorter and with a counterbalance shaft and see if maybe getting it a little lighter swing weight wise can help me hit it better. So I went into my drawer, and I don't have a lot of counterbalance shafts, especially in like 75 gram weights. I have like none. And so I was looking through, and I was like, all right, what do I have? So I had a couple counterbalance shafts, but they're all 65 grams. And I was like, you know what? I've messed with 65 gram 3-woods before, and I've never, rarely run into a problem. The weight is usually not that big of a deal between a 70 gram or, 70, 75 gram and a 65 gram of shaft. So I was like, all right, let's just let's throw one in there and just see if that works. And if it does, and the weight's still a thing, then I can see about maybe getting something a little bit heavier. But the one I pulled out of the old bin or the old drawer is the old Mitsubishi Tensei AV Raw Orange. So this is the Raw series, which was the previous version before 1K. They had the Raw, which had this aluminum vapor weave up in the handle section to add a bunch of stability. But this is the orange one, so it's supposed to be low launch, low spin, and it's counterbalanced. So I was like, all right, great. So I built this up. It's a 65, and it is a TX because when I got it, I was swinging a lot faster. So what I did is that I just didn't really tip it when I put it in here. It was tipped a little bit because I was using this in my Club Connects when I was using that as my universal tip system, which there you have to tip everything to get it in, into it, to make it play right. So it was slightly tipped there. So I just left it. I didn't tip it anymore. I just left it the way it is. And then I cut it down to 42.5 inches. And I think the swing weight on this thing is like almost spot on D2, which is kind of crazy to think. But cut this thing down and it's been really good. So yeah, it's a 65 TX, which is too stiff, but there was a rumor back then when they made these that the TXs had a little different material in them. There's like a rumor that this did have boron in the tip, even though the regular ones didn't and all that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I had the blue, the white, and the orange all in like 65 TX. And so I built it up in here, swapped the ping tip, tossed it on, even did a good job for the most part, saving the little rubber ferrule. I got one little gash in it, but it's not too bad. But again, set it to +1, and so far I've been able to hit this really well. And even setting it to +1, the face isn't really shut. It stays pretty darn square. And again, same thing, I put one of those Super Stroke, the reveal wraps on there, which has a little tack to it. It's a little bit softer. The only thing I don't love about it, it's got kind of a little bit of a reduced taper. You can kind of see it's kind of thick down right where it meets the shaft. Some of the taper is kind of taken out of it there, which I don't know if I truly love, but I love the feel of the grip. It's got good tackiness, good traction to it. But I've been hitting this a little bit when I've been playing in Bella Vista and some places, and I've actually hit it fairly well. So I've been hitting it off the deck. It's not maybe the crazy longest thing in the world, but the ball speed is pretty consistent. It's easy to get up in the air, and honestly, even for being an LST head, this thing here is pretty darn stable. You can hit it a little bit, wonky, hit it off the heel, hit it off the toe a little bit, ball still goes. And that added loft helps get it up in the air. So this is going to be 3-wood to start. Again, I could see this one being the one that maybe changes because this has just been kind of a little bit of a mystery. I've had like little stints with a bunch of 3-woods that it's like roller coaster. Like it gets super hot, then the honeymoon phase wears off, and I'm all of a sudden back again. And that's the backup 3-wood is kind of like that. I've hit some just stupid good shots with it, and then I've had just a run with it where it's just like, what is it doing? But that is the 3-wood there. So a little bit shorter, but it still goes. I can still get it out there fairly well. I can hit it off the deck. So this is going to be the 3-wood, will be the 440 LST. And then we move into 7-wood, and 7-wood is kind of interesting. I thought 7-wood was going to be, the past 2 years I played a G430 Max 7-wood, and I pretty much figured out the 440's out. I'll just throw the 440 head on the same shaft, and off we go. I have not hit that head as well, not near as well. It's been a little bit of a struggle with that head, and it's been a bummer. I was thinking to put the G430 back in play and see if that did anything, but recently I've been hitting the TaylorMade QI35 Tour 7-wood really, really well. This thing is an absolute cannon. This is the titanium one. It's got the big sliding weight in the back, and this thing, I mean, if you slide that weight back, this thing throws the ball up in the air. Super high launch. I actually push it forward a little bit to take a little spin off, lower it, flatten it out just a touch, because it literally just goes. And to get the gapping right, all that, I'm playing it down a little bit as well. But this thing is really good off the tee. Can hit off the tee, on short par 4s or really long par 3s, stuff like that. But you can also hit it off the deck, and the face isn't too deep where I feel too intimidated by hitting it off the deck there. I've actually got it set, it's a 21-degree head. I've actually got it set at 1 degree lower, again, just to kind of distance itself from the 4-iron in the bag. But this thing has been really, really good. I've been really a big fan of this thing. It's easy to swing. It's also a little bit more forgiving than I thought it was going to be. I thought this, it would be a little demanding just because it's a little smaller, the tour head, all that. But it's really not. It actually goes really, really well. So this is the 7-wood, weight pushed forward, and we're set 0.75 down. So instead of 21, we're playing like 20.25 on there. So it looks good at address, very classic kind of pear shape, and it performs really well. And then the shaft in this one is, of course, my trusty old Fujikura Ventus Blue, or Ventus TR Blue 8 stiff. This guy is, the one I played this in my G430 Max. I played it in that head, and then when I got last year, when I got the Paradigm AI Smoke Triple Diamond 7 wood, I asked Fuji if I could get another one, and they were like, yep, we don't sell a whole lot of 8 stiffs. So sent me another one, built it up, and then pulled it out of that head and put it in this one. So when I first got this thing, it felt a little too heavy, and I was kind of like, oh, do I need to move to a 7 stiff in here? But I've gotten used to it, and the more I've kind of played it, the better it is. I really like this shaft on a high lofted fairway because it doesn't take all of the launch out of it, but it's got like a little slightly boardier feel. This reinforced handle section just gives it a little bit more stable feel, a little bit stiffer feel up in the handle, which I like compared to, like, say, standard Ventus Blue. And to me, this is kind of like, mid, it's just slightly mid-low launching, fairly low spin, and I think it matches up really well with this head. I think it's a good, for me, high launch fairway wood because I don't take all the height out of it, but I still have a lot of control and feel stable, and it's a really nice setup. So I've been hitting this really well. This has been in the bag a little bit. I've hit some great shots off the tee, which my 7 wood was okay off the tee before when I was playing the 430. This one has been much, much better. So that is going to be the 7 wood in the bag. And yes, I go from basically a high lofted 3 wood to a 7 wood. And there's a little bit of a gap there, but the gap there, I just figure it out. So it's not that big of a deal in terms of having a gap. I've done 5 wood, but it seems like a lot of the course, like my home courses that I play the most at, the 5 wood yardage just doesn't fit well. And the 7 wood just fits better in terms of yardages to hit on some shorter par 4s and some par 3s and some things like that. The 7 wood just plays, and the 5 wood just goes too long. So that's really why the 7 wood is there. In theory, I should probably play like a 5 wood turned down, loft it up a little bit, but I haven't found success with that yet. So we'll see maybe later on, if I switch, but we're going to stay there. Then moving to irons, and I just got this bad boy, and I'm super excited to throw it into play, and this is my Titleist U505. So this club is probably the most surprising club during my fitting at TPI at Titleist for the new T-Series irons. They had after we get the irons dialed in, we threw this thing in, and I hit it, and I was absolutely shocked at how high, how far, and how easy this thing was to hit. The previous U505 was really good, but it had kind of that big back on it, wide sole, a lot of weight down low. This thing does the same thing, but it looks much more like a traditional package, and especially in the 4-iron. It's got a little bit wider sole. It's nothing too crazy. You only see a little bit of the back from address. It's pretty small, pretty compact. But man, the thing just launches the ball in the air. It's super easy to hit. And it was interesting because I had a GT2 hybrid in the bag, my Titleist GT2 hybrid. And this thing, I was hitting some shots with it. And then it's like, he went to hand me the U505. And I was like, well, it's not going to beat that out. And it totally, like the first 2 balls, I was like, this thing is crazy easy to hit. Like it's pretty wild. So I just got this thing and it just showed up. I literally have never hit a ball with this one. And this is the same spec and everything that I hit at TPI, but this is a U505. It's the 4-iron version. Now it's bent too weak because the iron set that I have coming is the T250 launch specs, which are weaker irons as well. So this is too weak, too flat, and this thing was awesome. I was, yardage wise, basically hitting it what I hit my other utilities and all that. So this thing is really good. Like I said, I'm excited to get this thing out of the course and hit it out there because I think it's going to really change that long yardage. That 190 type shot is going to be definitely a game changer with this compared to everything else. So excited to hit this thing. I love what they did. The sound and feel is much better on this. And they just did a really nice job. So this is shafted up with the Graphite Design Tour AD HY. So this is the HY85 stiff. So compared to a DI, which most people ask about, this is a little bit softer shaft. It's got a softer mid, softer tip section than the DI. It's easy to load. It kicks really well. And for me, and not having a ton of speed anymore, This thing in 85 stiff plays really well because it is just a little bit softer, and hitting it off the deck allows me to just kind of throw that thing up in the air a little bit more. This thing's more of like a mid-launcher, and I do have to say too, when this thing's bent weak, it takes even more of the offset out of it, and man, it looks really, really good. So this is a great looking 4-iron, and I'm excited to hit this thing and throw it in the bag. So yeah, whoever design HY85S, and that'll be the 4-iron. And then for irons, this one was kind of, I wouldn't say a last-minute change, but I was kind of all in on another set of irons, and then I got these, and I took them out to play them. I didn't expect a whole lot. It was just kind of like, all right, let's just go play them. We'll review them, do whatever, and then I hit them, and I've been hitting them really well since. So it is the brand new Callaway Apex AI 150s. So these kind of replace the Apex Pros, and I got this set right when they came out, and they're really, really good. I was hitting them over at ECPC when I was out there, Callaway Performance Center. Their beautiful range and everything. And I was hitting the other irons, the Fusion 250s, and and some other stuff. And then they handed me this, and I was hitting at this green that had kind of a bunker in front of it. And the 7-irons with those were carrying, over the bunker onto the green. It was great. And with this, I was like, well, I'm probably just going to hit in the bunker. Like, these are smaller. They're probably not as fast. Yeah, they're still fast. I was hitting it right onto the green as well. And the other thing that was shocking was when I didn't hit it well, it was usually still making it onto the green. I had to put a pretty poor swing on it to get it to fall into that trap. So these things launch high. They hold the greens well. I've been playing these a decent amount down at Bella Vista, my kind of home course there. And honestly, been hitting them really well. And even when I brought out the irons that are in second place, which I'll talk about, I was thinking about these, and I've just hit them really well. They're just the 5, 6, 7 have kind of a hot face on them. They have an AI smart face, designed for a little bit of speed, and they have that. They're pretty darn quick. And then when you get into like the 8, 9 pitching wedge, it goes to it's still a multi-piece design, but a totally different face material meant for a little bit more precision. But they've got great turf interaction, like a nice big pre-worn leading edge on this thing. Gets into the turf, glides through really quickly, and these things are forged. They feel pretty good. They're not as soft as some other hollow bodies. They're not as soft as like an X forged. They've got a little click to them. They're a little bit louder, but overall they perform really well, and they sound pretty good. They're a much smaller package than you'd think. These are what the Apex Pro should have been last generation. But these things here, they're pretty compact. A little bit of offset. Top line's not too razor thin, nor is it too chunky, but just a really good playable set of irons. So I'm going to play these 5 through pitching wedge, and I've been hitting the 5-iron well, but hitting the whole set really, really well. So the other thing too is, interesting enough, I don't hit these as much left as I do some of the other iron sets, which was weird. When I go play these, my miss has been a little bit more right with these, and they're just, standard lie angle, all that. So not sure what is it with these, but definitely missing it a little bit more right. But these have been really, really good. So I took them to the range again against everything else, and I hit them really solid. And they go a little further. They basically let me play my numbers. So like a 7-iron is 160, they go 160. Where I was hitting a couple other irons, and they're maybe just a little bit shorter than that. These are kind of my number. And these are shafted up with the True Temper Dynamic Gold mid 115s. So the higher launching Dynamic Gold there. And I've actually had a lot of success with this shaft as well. I've hit this in my 3DP Tours. I've hit them in the P770s. I've had them in a few Maxfly XC2s. Had these in a few different clubs, and then I've hit these really well. So they match up well. They get the ball up in the air pretty easily, and they have pretty good feel to them. So these are going to be the iron set, the starters. And I know it was close between 3DP Tour and then even my P770s from previous year, and I was out there hitting them all, and this still just I think it works out as the best one. So it's a little bit lower spinning than P770. I would like to see a little bit more spin. What I should do is bend them about a degree weak, take just a little bit of a couple yards off them, and just add a little bit more spin. But we'll probably roll in playing them the way they are, because I've been hitting a lot of greens and playing them pretty well over the past few weeks. So they're going to stay as they are there. And then for wedges, we are kind of going with last year's wedges. It's kind of the one thing haven't really changed, which is pretty interesting. So last year's wedges, the PXG Sugar Daddy 3s. These have just been, this is going to be a 50-10 S grind. This is the one that I got last year when I went out to PXG, and I really like these things. They feel great. They're extremely soft, but they spin like crazy out of the rough. That's the one thing that I've noticed. Like, And it'll be interesting because up here, Michigan, all the rough is like lush and thick and all that, and they spin really well out of there. I'm assuming French lick is going to be similar. I don't think it's going to be too rock hard and firm or whatever, but whatever, these things spin really, really well. So hitting them into greens, these things check up a little bit faster and harder than my Vokies, it seems, especially out of the rough. Out of the fairway, they're about the same. And then these things feel really, really good. They're really soft. Turf interaction is pretty good. I mean, it's 10 degrees of bounce, but it's got a really rounded leading edge coming in, decent amount of camber, a little bit of trailing edge relief, and they get through the turf, really, really well. So this is the 5010 S grind, and this has got a Project X Wedge 6.0. So the wedge shaft is basically the same weight as the iron shaft, so 120 grams. They just make it a little softer flex. So for those not quite full shots or those slower swing shots, you get a little more touch and feel with them. So 5010S there, and then its sibling is going to be the Sam wedge, which is Sugar Daddy 3 in a 5610S. And same thing, this is the kind of wedge I use mostly around the green. I chip and pitch with it for the most part, and I even play most of my bunker shots, unless they're really short-sided or something like that. I play a lot of my bunker shots with a 56. So same thing here, turf interaction is really good, that nice rounded leading edge, decent amount of camber. Now this one has a little bit more heel trailing edge relief compared to the 50, so you can open it up just a little bit, but at 56, again, out of the rough and stuff like that, it spins exceptionally well. Feel is soft, no click. They got a nice thud when you hit them solid, and these things have just been really, really, really good wedges. So I've been a big fan of these things, and thankfully the grooves are still in really good shape. I rotate enough stuff where I haven't really worn them out yet, so they're still sharp and still spinning the ball. And same thing, this is shafted up with a Project X Wedge 6.0. And I've been a big fan. Like these shafts have been pretty good. I've actually liked them a lot, even though I don't play Project X in my irons. These have been a solid option here. They played really well. So going 50, and then I go to 56. I know there's a decent gap there, but 50 is a little bit. It's basically like my 110 to about 90 yard club, and then my 56 goes up to maybe 90. That's about as much as I hit it. I used to only play it like 85. But I've gotten a little more comfortable hitting closer to fuller shots with it. So I do play my gap wedge a little further, and then my sand wedge is anything from basically 90 and below. As long as I'm not crazy short-sided. So lob wedge, we're going to go with lob wedge. I'm going to bring two. I got two lob wedges. I've been playing two different ones, and on the firmer, tighter courses, I will play one, and on the basically softer, more lush ones, I will play another. So the softer, more lush, more traditional is the Vokey Wedgeworks A+ grind. So this is the 60 A+. And yeah, this is basically a modified M grind. So it's an M grind. They kind of take the middle section off. But the soles, they say it's a little narrower. It feels a little bit wider. But this thing plays really well when it's a little more lush. There's a good amount of bounce. You can kind of throw it into the turf a little bit, and it doesn't want to dig. It will kind of just glide through the turf, glide over the turf, and I deliver my sand wedge a little bit steeper. My lob wedge I bring in a little bit flatter for most of the shots I hit with it. So this A+ grind has been really good for me all year on the softer conditions. So most of the courses I play, I've been playing this thing, and yeah, it's just really good. I don't play wide open flop shots, so where the leading edge may come off the ground a little bit with that, I don't really play that shot a whole lot. If I have a shot like that, I'm probably just going to take my medicine, try to hit it to the middle of the green, and have a 20-foot putt or whatever coming back, because I don't have that Phil Mickelson-esque short game where I can just throw it up high as consistently. So every once in a while, but this thing also plays really well in the trap, especially softer sand. When you open it, that effective bounce is really, really there. So been a big fan of this wedge, and then I've been using it a little bit more around the green with certain shots because I've gotten more confident with it, and I know what the sole does and how it feels. So I've been using this more and more. But good spin on the ball, good feel, and yeah, this A+ has been really, really solid. So this also, like the other one, shafted up with a Project X Wedge 6.0 shaft. So again, look pretty nice around the greens for those kind of touch shots there. But this has been the wedge setup. It's been pretty good. I do have to say, my wedge game has never been like blowing out amazing, like crazy, but I have been better this year than most in terms of hitting better chip shots and pitch shots and things like that, and getting it closer to the hole. So that is there. And then putter. Putter is that one that can come and go depending on what we're doing. But we are rocking the Kevin Burns 9306 2.0. So this is a Newport 2 style, Answer 2 style, a little bit more boxy. a little bit more squared off. Bumpers there, bigger shoulders, all that. But this putter is fantastic. I mean, the milling on it is just impeccable. It's crazy. They say they do like no hand finishing work, and if you take a picture of some of these like rounded corners here and you zoom in, you can see the milling lines and all that. They're not hand polishing it afterwards. This is just done right out of the gate. But I like the look of this thing. Just a simple single sight line in the back. The flange is a little bit longer. I honestly wish this thing was like, I don't know, like 4 millimeters longer. I think this thing would look even better, but really good looking putter. I've got about 9 grams or 8 grams of lead tape on the bottom there. So this comes in, I think a little over 360, just a hair over 360 grams, but a really good putter. I like the kind of the milling on the top line that runs heel to toe. Looks really good. Standards plumber's neck on this one. So toe hang is pretty traditional, nothing too crazy on it. This thing here just feels good. The face on it is Kevin Burns, I think they call it the pyramid face, but it's got a bunch of tiny pyramids. And I think he said, I talked to him when I ordered this, and I think he said the face alone adds like 45 minutes or an hour to the actual milling process because it's so small and intricate and all that. But I tell you what, the feel on it, really, really good. It's soft but responsive. No real click to it. It's just kind of a little bit of a knock as the ball leaves the face. And it's just been really good. I've been putting really well with it. Now this thing here, it's funny. I got it and I putted with it a little bit. I liked it and I threw a Diamante putter shaft in it almost immediately. And then I never putted well with it. A Diamante, and I had a Super Stroke 1.0 on it. Didn't really putt well. It just kind of, I kind of struggled. So I threw the old original steel shaft in with the Kevin Burns Iomic grip on here, the small Iomic in black. And I tell you what, I putted so much better with it. I don't know what it is. This thing's actually like, I think a little bit lighter than the Diamante and the Super Stroke grip, but putted way better with it. It's been, just a much better putter, especially on like the faster greens. I feel like with the shorter stroke, this thing has just been really, really good. So yeah, the Kevin Burns 9306 2.0 is going to be the starter. It's going to be kind of the gamer one. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, under pressure, I sometimes like to move to the zero torque mallet style, but this thing has been really good, and I've been putting, pretty darn well with it. So we're going to keep rolling with it, and hopefully it'll bring me some luck and make some putts out of the green. It's 33 inches, so it's short, but I'm a short guy. I'm 5'9", so I don't need a 35, 36-inch putter. But this thing here is really solid, and this is going to go in being the gamer number 1. And then for ball, Pro V1X, I'm going to bring about 3 dozen of these down, and because I'm going to lose a few, and especially when you play like the 2-man scramble stuff, you're going to hit some stupid drives that you wouldn't have picked that line, or you would have played a different shot. But when somebody hits one out there and you've got a shot, this will be what I'm playing. So Pro V1X is what I usually play. I'm going to bring like 3 dozen of these down here. I think I'm going to go with the advanced alignment ones because I do use the line on the ball on shorter putts, or putts like 10 feet and in, 12 feet, straight putts, things like that. I use the line a good amount. So, but Pro V1X will be the ball for me going into this thing. So that is the gamer bag. I know people are sitting there going, man, this thing's like 47 minutes and what's in the bag talk. But man, this is just like how I agonize over it. Like this is like what I do. I just agonize over it the whole time. So that is the starting bag, and then quickly for the backup bag. The backup bag, which, yes, I bring a full second bag, in a bag, everything. It's going to be the Callaway Elite Triple Diamond. I'm going to do that head, the 10.5. Again, I really wanted to get the ping to work. It just, unfortunately, wasn't working for me. But the Elite Triple Diamond, again, that more compact head, I think I just squared it up a little easier. But we're going to go that, and I'm going to bring the higher launching, the Mitsubishi Diamante BB in that one, because I was hitting that really well, that combo. Pretty close to the GT2, not as consistent. It was probably maybe just a hair further, but not as consistent as the GT2, so that will be the shaft. It's a BB, or a blue board, in the Oakmont, the US Open kind of livery that they did, that limited edition one, and it's a 63X as well, so that'll be the backup driver. And then I also add a third shaft in there that I usually bring an extra shaft just in case I want to mix stuff up. And that shaft will be a Graphite Design Tour AD VF 6X. So that thing there, I like the fact that it's like just slightly counterbalanced. I think I play a little bit better with a counterbalanced, slightly lighter swing weight driver. So those will be the drivers I bring in the shafts. 3-wood is going to be the TaylorMade QI35, the core 3-wood, and it's got a Fujikura Ventus Red 7X in it. that thing there, I mean, beginning of the year, I hit a couple 3-woods off the deck that I'd never hit 3-woods like that before in my life. It's been really good. And then I kind of ran into a streak where I struggled with it. So that'll be the 3-wood there. I'm pretty excited to hopefully get that thing dialed in. I got to put a little bit of lead tape. Might hot melt it, but I think I'm going to put a little bit of lead tape in it. The swing it's a little bit light. It's like a D0. So I'm going to bring it a D2, and I should be good to go. But that'll be the backup 3-wood. And then our 7-wood is going to be the Callaway Elite Triple Diamond 7-wood. That thing is just, it's easy to hit. When I had it down in Florida, right around the Arnold Palmer, I went down there for a media event for Maxfly. I had that thing in the bag, and I hit it awesome. I haven't found out that same love for it, but I've still hit it pretty well. It's nice and compact and small. Hit it off the tee, hit it off the deck. It's really easy to go. And that's got the Artera EC1 Blue 75 stiff in it. So that's been a great shaft. It's kind of mid-launch, really stable, really good feel, very solid. I've liked that shaft a lot. I've hit it in driver as well. It's really good. So that's my backup 7-wood. And then for a hybrid, I'm actually, instead of another utility, I'm going to bring down a hybrid just in case. And it's going to be the TaylorMade QI35 Rescue 4. So the 4 hybrid there, it's shafted up with the Fujikura Ventus HB Blue. Now it's a 9X, way too stiff for me, but I didn't tip it at all. I think you can tip it a little bit in the 23 degree range for a hybrid, but didn't tip it at all. Just left it the way it is, and I think cut it down maybe like a 1/4 inch. So it's a little easier to hit, but that thing there is a rocket launcher, man. That thing goes. It's easy to hit off the deck. Tough one between that and my last year's PXG Black Ops 4 hybrid. So, but we're going to go with this one here. And then irons, the backup set is going to be the Cobra 3DP Tours. They were so close. It was like neck and neck with these two. The apex is just a little bit longer, to be honest. And I feel like yardage-wise, I don't have to adjust much. I can just go out and hit them. So Cobra 3DP Tours, 5-through pitching wedge. I'm going to bring those down. Now, I just shafted those with a set of shafts that I can't talk about yet. They're not out yet. They'll be out before I think I get back from my trip. But unfortunately, I can't mention what they are. So a set of prototype shafts are in those that you'll be finding out about those shortly. But I just reshafted them. And I think height-wise, it's going to add a little height to the shots. But distance-wise, the Callaway is just a little bit closer to what I'm used to. So, and then the wedges, the backup wedges are going to be my Vokey SM10. So SM10 52.12F for the gap wedge. That shafted up with an Nippon Modus 105 stiff. That thing there is a great gap wedge. Doesn't dig. If it's really soft, I could switch to that. If it's really soft down there, I might switch to it. But we'll see how the conditions are. And then the sand wedge is going to be the Vokey SM10. That's going to be a 5614F. So again, if it's really soft down there, the bunkers are super fluffy, that could go in the bag just because it's easy to hit out of just about any lie. So that one there, just like the other shafted up in the Nippon Modus 105 stiff. And then the other lob wedge, which could go in depending on conditions again. If it's a little firmer, this will go in. And this is the Vokey Wedgeworks 60K Star Grind. It's shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold S200, but that one there is something that just recently, as things got a little drier, a little tighter around here, I played it and really liked it. I think it's really versatile. You can kind of open it up. It doesn't have as much float in the trap, and it will dig a little bit more than the A+ grind, but I feel like if it's firm, it's a great little wedge. That bevel leading edge, doesn't let it dig too much, but it will get down a little deeper than the A+. So if it's firm, that's a great one. Or, the fairways are just super, super tight cut. That one could definitely go in the bag. So that one in the A+ will depend on the conditions a little bit, but that's a great wedge, and I've kind of started to like it a whole lot more. Then the backup putter is going to be Zero Torque, baby. We're going to go TaylorMade Spider ZT. So I really like that thing. It's definitely moved to the ranks of putters, Zero Torque putters on my list, and it was one that I just putted well with. I wish it had a full sight line on it, the little short sight line. I don't mind it, but I'd like something a little longer. But it's easy to putt, it's super stable, and I think they did a really, really nice job. I like the looks of it as well. It looks really, really good. So that is my what's in the bag for French Lick, Indiana, coming up next weekend. Not this weekend here, next weekend. So this weekend I'll probably go down, do a little bit more work, make sure that everything is exactly what it should be going in to the tournament. But that is the 2 bags I am bringing. So excited to play a little bit of French Lick, Indiana. It should be awesome. I've never played it. I've only seen it on some of the created channels and some stuff like that. So be excited to go play it myself. So those are my what's in the bags. Both of them will be in the car, and yeah, I will let you know in 2 weeks or 3 weeks technically. I guess next week I will do a show. I'll have a show ready to go. I won't be around, but I'll do a show, and then the week after that I will definitely let you know how it went. So anyway, that is what's in the bags for my guys' golf trip. So hopefully you guys have a great one. Thank you for all the questions yesterday on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram at Club Junkie Pod. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, all that jazz. And yeah, wish me luck, and we'll talk next week.